Hey guys, this is Spartacus here and welcome to another video where today we got some pretty big news for the Call of Duty community, where the next Call of Duty coming out in 2017, which is of course this year, is that it's going to be boots on the ground, which is absolutely amazing. And you guys are probably thinking, well, what's the proof? Like, is there any proof that it's going to be confirmed that it's actually going to be boots on the ground? Actually, yes, I have actually a couple sources to where it's actually going to be boots on the ground Call of Duty, but it's not necessarily just going to be Call of Duty boots on the ground, right, where we don't have like this exoskeleton movements, the jetpack movement we've seen in the past two Call of Duty games. It's going to be boots on the ground, just kind of like Modern Warfare Remastered, right? If you guys have played Modern Warfare Remastered, it's pretty much just like that. That's what boots on the ground is, right? And so my first proof of actually telling you guys that it's going to be boots on the ground is that Call of Duty themselves, or actually it was Activision Blizzard is who it was. So Activision Blizzard is of course owns the Call of Duty franchise, and they released their fourth quarter 2016 results. And honestly, I have no idea what the fourth quarter 2016 results are. I guess I have no idea what that even means. But anyway, they released their fourth quarter 2016 results, right? And in that whole list of all these different results, like for Skylanders, Destiny, all these like Activision Blizzard type games and details and all this stuff, one of the details in there actually says this: 2017 title will take Call of Duty back to its roots. As you can see at the bottom of this one portion, talking about Call of Duty, other than saying it's the #1 franchise for the last 8 years or whatever. But at the very bottom it says 2017 title will take Call of Duty back to its roots, which is pretty freaking awesome. Now, of course, when we see that, right, it just says taking Call of Duty back to its roots, we are assuming it's going to be boots on the ground. Now, this isn't actually the best information to say that it's going to be boots on the ground, but of course when you think of Call of Duty back to its roots, that means the original kind of Call of Duties where they were only boots on the ground, right? Because our first like advanced movement was actually Advanced Warfare, which, believe it or not, is the game that Sledgehammer Games made, and they started this whole new advanced movement thing. But what's kind of funny is that this next Call of Duty game is going to be Sledgehammer Games again, and they're not going to be doing the advanced movement, which is quite interesting. So yes, we know that this next Call of Duty game is going to be back in its roots. What other information do we have that will prove it's going to be like boots on the ground, right? So from this Twitter post from the actual official Call of Duty account, this says, "This year's COD back to its roots, traditional combat will once again take center stage, noting that space setting didn't resonate." So what this tweet is saying, that of course Call of Duty is going back to its roots, and the original combat that we see back in the day, kind of like Modern Warfare or COD 4, I should say, or maybe Call of Duty Black Ops, and even Black Ops 2, right, that had normal combat. So it's saying that this next Call of Duty game is going to take us back to that original combat that we don't see today in recent Call of Duty games. Also, at the end of that tweet, it says space setting didn't resonate. What that means is that the space setting that Call of Duty has been putting out for the last couple years didn't like as follows as they wanted it to. It didn't become as good as they want it to be, and so that's why they're going back in time basically to see if they can redo this, like what Call of Duty was at the beginning when we first got into it, right? Like for me, I first started playing Modern Warfare 3. That was technically a modern Call of Duty. I mean, it is outdated now, but Modern Warfare 3 was my first Call of Duty, and that was normal boots on the ground. That was pretty much back when Call of Duty was back at its roots. So it's kind of interesting to see this next Call of Duty game actually going back to its roots. Now, in this, it does not say in this tweet exactly going to be boots on the ground, but there really is no other proof. Like, what other proof do I need to show you? Like, as a matter of fact, Glenn Schofield, who is actually a developer at Sledgehammer Games Studios, he's one of the head developers actually, and he tweeted out saying that he found Michael Condrey's boots, which is of course referring to like boots on the ground for like their next Call of Duty game, and he shows a picture of pink boots, which I thought was actually hilarious. But I think this is great, you guys. Call of Duty is going back to its roots. This next Call of Duty game, thank you, Sledgehammer Games. Holy smokes. You know, I'm not gonna lie, this whole space movement thing, I've kind of got into it, you know, like it wasn't too bad But I'm not gonna lie, from how many years I've been playing Call of Duty, I would love to play this next Call of Duty game back to when I started, right? Back when I played Modern Warfare 3, where it was the normal movement, where you didn't have unlimited sprint, right, like you do in these futuristic Call of Duty games. Also, you can take damage, like fall damage, right? So, like in these recent Call of Duty games, you can't take fall damage. Well, actually, I think in Black Ops 3 and in Infinite Warfare you do, but I know in Advanced Warfare you never took any fall damage, which was kind of interesting. But yeah, Call of Duty is officially going back to its roots. Like, I just showed you guys proof, right? I literally just showed evidence that Call of Duty is going back to its roots. Of course, we do not actually have a trailer yet for this new Call of Duty game. Of course, like during the springtime when it gets into like April, maybe March, I don't know, usually it's April, when we first started getting not necessarily leaks but actual information about this next upcoming Call of Duty game, which will be coming out in this next November. So another thing I'd like to point out is that Sledgehammer Games also tweeted something as well. It didn't really mention Call of Duty going back to its roots, they're just talking about their own game in general, and I quote, "We're honored and excited to bring this year's Call of Duty to fans everywhere. It's our biggest achievement as game makers, much more to come." So Sledgehammer Games is obviously proud of this game that they're making, which a game developer should, or not necessarily a developer, but a game studio should always appreciate their own game, right? They should always appreciate like how much hard work they've done. Like it's taken them more than 2 years to actually develop this game, and it sounds like they're very, very proud of it. They said it's their biggest accomplishment, which we'll just have to wait and see. Like us fans will have to judge it once we see a trailer, once we actually play a beta, assuming there is going to be a beta if we like pre-order the game or something. And they say much more to come. So yeah, when they say much more to come, we'll probably have to wait till April till we maybe get a trailer or some actual information they'll be tweeting out and stuff like that. And if you guys don't follow Sledgehammer Games on Twitter, or even Michael Condrey or Glenn Schofield, those developers who work for Sledgehammer Games, I highly recommend following them on Twitter, because that is where us YouTubers and everyone else gets their information from these Call of Duty games, right? So this is how we get our information, is from Twitter. Twitter is an amazing social media that I use every single day, and this is how I get my information. So there you go, you guys. Call of Duty going back to its roots. No more futuristic, which is kind of interesting, because Call of Duty tweeted out saying that the futuristic theme did not really set as they hoped it would. So what are we gonna see in this next Call of Duty game? Possibly we're gonna have a Vietnam, maybe another Cold War game, maybe it's a World War II game, maybe a World War I game. Honestly, I feel like a World War I Call of Duty game wouldn't turn out very well, but who knows? It's not going to be a futuristic game. It's going to be a Call of Duty game coming back to its roots. So anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to leave a rating for what you guys feel this video deserves, and comment down below if you guys are excited to hear that Call of Duty is finally going back to its roots. Now, just because Call of Duty is going back to its roots does not mean that they won't screw up in the process. What do I mean by screw up? Well, maybe we're still going to have supply drops. That doesn't mean that just because Call of Duty is going back to its roots doesn't mean that we're not going to have supply drops. Who knows? Maybe that is the case. Maybe we won't have supply drops, because honestly, that would be quite cool. I mean, I honestly don't mind supply drops, but of course they eventually always add weapons into supply drops, which doesn't make it as fun, because it's so totally unfair for every single player. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please be sure to leave a rating for what you guys feel the video deserves, and subscribe to my channel for more Call of Duty videos later in the future. So anyway, hope you guys all enjoyed, and I shall catch you guys later.